Well, welcome back to a new adventure. Just kidding. Well, I'm glad you guys are here today because I have something exciting to share. I have been working I don't know how to say this word. Um, diligently. Okay, I've been working hard on not improving, but because I didn't not well. Okay, so when I was younger, I wanted to Um, I loved writing and doing lettering and all that nonsense when I was like in high school, middle school, maybe some adult like college time. But I let it go because people grow up and stuff. But I recently wanted to apply at Disneyland to see if I could work at Disneyland. And in one of the jobs that Disneyland offers is lettering. And it brought like a whole feeling of me wanting to re not it's because I'm not saying relearning it because I don't think I ever learned it properly. I was just always like I always just liked it. I always just um not admire it, but like yeah, I always had an eye, like not an eye for it because I didn't do it, but I always liked it. I was always attracted to it, and so and every time, ever since I've like been little, I've always like if I see a magazine, if I see TV, if I see any kind of advertisement, I'm always focusing on their lettering, on their structure, or on their um, style, and I've always been something in the back of my head. And when I saw that posting of wanting for lettering, I was like, oh my gosh, that's something I wish I could be applying for. Nevertheless, I was saying, well, what's stopping me from later in the future applying for something like that? So I embarked on this roller coaster of me wanting. I mean, I'm sure that Disney is probably looking for somebody like a veteran or a seasoned person that knows how to do this or went to school for this. I mean, although I looked and there's no schooling, most likely they're probably looking for somebody like in graphics and I don't know, art or something. Um, I don't have that background, but I do have an art background. So, um, I decided, well, the only thing that makes a person professional from them to me is practice. So I started practicing, and this is literally my first time making a thing. Well, I've watched a few videos at this point, and when I've always done lettering before, I've always done it in pencil, draw letters and words or whatever. And so I decided to learn the proper way, which is, you know, uh, with the brush and paint. So after watching many, many videos, I decided to, you know, conquer my fear and just start it. And I did. And I was very happy that um, I started because I got on a roller coaster. I don't want to waste so much paint. So I had this paint that I had picked up from somebody's trash. Because as guys know, I have twin baby boys, but my daughter didn't want it, and I was like, maybe you could paint something if you needed it or whatever. I got it for you if you want it. She's like, no, thank you. I don't want to use it, and that's not the color I like or whatever. So I was stuck with this, for a while, and then when I realized I wanted to paint, I knew I needed a thicker paint because you're usually dealing with enamels. So this is a house paint that I found on the trash that I figure might as well use for to practice my lettering, right? So this is pretty much all I'm using for that. I'm using latex. It's not enamel, but it's kind of thick as that, and it helps me with the consistency of what it is. Also, this is not the brush I should be using. At this point, I'm just practicing strokes and letter design and how the body of it. I'm not really looking for perfection right now. I'm just looking for what it is that I'm getting into, the idea, the what is it that I need in my hand, my body, my all of that. So I still haven't. I mean, I practiced a while for this brush, just to kind of get an understanding of letters and paint and how the importance of each other working together because they have to work together. So, anyways, long story short, this is a roller coaster. I'm going to take you as to how I worked on my lettering. So after many, I wanted to do it like a little flip of all the ones that I did. I filled up that book. Naturally, when I filled it up, I felt like I had to move on, right? I felt like I was ready to conquer the world. And you guys remember this project of the washi tape box that I did? And I was very proud of it. And I felt that it would be very, I don't know, very special if I did a little bit of writing in the back of it. And I did. I wrote in the back of it. I wrote the my channel name, and I wanted to incorporate some books and a paint, pencil, and brush. And I love suns and birds, and so I incorporated those on there. And I was very happy about how not about. I was very happy how that came out. Then I moved into an oiler. You guys know I collect oilers. I had this really rusty, not so good looking one. Um, and I felt like if I painted I wouldn't mind the rust so much, right? So I did, but before that, I had to remove the rust because then paint doesn't go on there. Then, luckily, I didn't have to spend the $300 million that enamels cost. Just kidding. They're not that expensive, but I'm barely starting and I don't know where I'm gonna take this. So I wasn't in the market of spending so much money. So I was walking through Walmart and I always peek at the crafts department because you just never know. And sure enough, they had just released decor. Is it decor? Yes, I think it is. They had just released enamel paints. Now, they're not the greatest quality, but they work for what it is that I'm doing, right? Most of these things that I may end up doing, I may end up redoing in the future. So, and it's just to get the idea going, just to get the me working with it, learning. I mean, I've worked with acrylic paints all my life pretty much, but it's a whole different feel to get to know it as you are using them in a context where you're making a particular body of art different. I don't know how to explain it. I just feel like I'm getting closer to where I want to be as to knowing me and my paints. Now I got to get to know the brushes and get to know, forms and all that stuff, but I felt like I was never going to really get to know them if I wasn't practicing in other formats other than just paper. I needed to get it into other items. And I got it into this oiler. And to tell you the truth, I loved how it came out. Not that I did it, but I just loved it. Then I moved into my water flask. Now, I did the design of the concept of painting half of it. Usually, you want to draw the left side because you're not crossing over on your arm. So I usually do the left side of the whatever it is that I'm trying to do, and then I do the copy and paste. So right now, this is me getting a copy of that half. I think this would be called reproduction. I don't know. The other one was copying. This is half pasting before we take it onto the thing. So once I copy half of it, I just go ahead and fold the paper, and you can see this is onion skin paper. You're able to see all the way to the other side, and I was just able to trace it, and it was so easy. It made my life so much easier. And of course, the pasting is just as easy. It's just a little tedious. Um, it's I bought this carbon paper at Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby has this carbon paper. I have been wanting to get it for a long time because I need it all the time. And I felt I was always doing that, like, where you put the pencil in the back of the paper, and I was just like, it's time I grow up, right? I told that to myself. But yeah, and I they're not expensive. I think it was like $2, $3 maybe for a pack of like 13. And you guys, if you've ever used them like before, like I have in high school, um, you reuse them and reuse them and reuse them. They worked out great. Okay, so this is not this is and it's not at the same time lettering. Lettering is in many places different things. For example, I have been taking a class for lettering, but it's in Argentina. So over there it's called filete porteño. What it means is that back in the day they started um, using lettering to advertise, right? But because the government taxed you if your sign was any bigger, part of the sign became that they put designs and colorful um, flowers and birds and stuff like that um, around the letter to make the appearance that the letter looks bigger. So in some aspects, lettering can be part of how you design around it. And in this one, it's not so much lettering. There is a little bit of lettering in this um, water thing that I made. But what I was studying here is mostly the surrounding of what a lettering could be. I um, I took it to, what is it called, to design around the letter, just like I did in this little metal thing, tin, yes, metal tin, that I did the letters, but then I also kind of designed around it. And that's part of what I've been studying. There's a class I take every Saturday. He goes live and he teaches, and it's 100 lessons. And so we're in lesson like 30 right now, and I've started from the beginning. So like I said, this has been a long journey that we started, and of course, and naturally, the progression of my learning, I wanted to take it to glass, and I had this cabinet that I got for $5, and I don't even have a space for it. You guys can tell it's in my doorway. But I loved it so much, and I knew that something was going to happen with it. So I love The Little Mermaid, and I thought that The Little Mermaid and I can relate to each other because I have a lot of things that, like in her cave. I got gadgets and gizmos aplenty. I got who's its and what's its galore. You got thingamabobs? I got 20. All right? So I did that whole song, but I did it sort of like an advertisement back in the days in the stores, like in general stores. If you see the cabinets that were on the store or like on general stores, they always have like a little advertisement or little writings on them to advertise you what's in the cabinet, right? Just like we see in the stores now. But I decided to do like a little mermaid. Like if I was a little mermaid, I was trying to sell my stuff, or my stuff was in a, I don't know, for sale, whatever. And I loved it. I loved the two how my two worlds combined of that vintage style and lettering and what's it called, and The Little Mermaid. And so I just gathered all my stuff. I had some forks and some sea themed, like my daughter's silver dollars, and all my wheels that I love, love, love so much. And I decided to incorporate them in there. Anyways, thank you guys so much for kind of coming with me on this journey. I wanted to share with you guys, so I documented it a little bit. Not as much, but I'm really glad you came here with me today. Thank you so much. Till next time, guys. Stay safe. I love you guys. Stay crafty, stay creative. Explore other things that you might be scared of exploring, but explore them anyway. I love you guys. Till next time. Bye.